I'm going to be putting this public service announcement at the end of all my videos going forward. I have a feeling that since YouTube is a Google Alphabet-owned company, this may not bode well for my YouTube channel, so I highly suggest checking me out on vimeo.com/Rossman Group. I get paid if you watch the video on YouTube, and I have to pay $979 a year to host it. Hey, I know you've been using this voice-to-text feature would have access to in a very search.
It's not your money, comma, but the person you had to be.
If somebody were to hack my Google account or my Gmail account, as soon as they hack my Gmail account, if I go to a phishing website of any kind, I'm not just on the hook for my email and calendar, I'm also on the hook for every conversation I've had for the past 7 years that hacker would have access to in a very searchable fashion. Many Google fanboys may say things like, well, if you don't want to risk that when you get hacked, why don't you just opt out of it so that they're not saving everything to the back end of the account? Why don't you just log in and delete it? The reason I wouldn't do that is because I had no fucking idea for the past 7 years that you opted me into that without asking me. If concepts must be evil, terrible people. And Gwen to have a lot of employees within a monolithic political and philosophical culture where a lot of them tend to think the same way, and a lot of them tend to be a part of the political ideology that thinks that people who disagree with them on certain concepts must be evil, terrible people. And well, if they got deplatformed because something they said was taken out of context or misused, no big deal. Imagine giving your worst enemy who
when those news sources are news sources that they do not consider authoritative, that they have had white supremacists. Hey everybody, how's it going? I came across this hashtag called #StopHateForProfit regarding Facebook and Instagram. It appears to me that people are protesting the fact that Facebook considers certain news sources authoritative when those
Something amazing is happening here. Intel and CDW are hard.
Hates your guts the power to search through everything you've ever said, every place you've ever went, every app you've ever opened, everything you've ever.
When those news sources are news sources that they do not consider authoritative, that they have had white supremacists or white nationalists write for them in the past, and also that they will allow misleading ads to stay up, and that they don't really
ever clicked when you did not opt into it, as long as they're able to sneak into a server room or hack your email account. Imagine that type of power being in the hands of your worst enemy, and imagine them using it. But hey, you've got nothing to hide, right? That's Google. They're doing that, and they're doing far worse, and the reason they're getting an area of my account that clearly links all of that, but it clearly is not, because it is linked to and philosophical culture where a lot of them tend to think the same way, and a lot of them tend to be a part of the political ideology that thinks that people who disagree with them on certain concepts must be evil, terrible people. And well, if they got deplatformed because something they said was taken out of context or misused, no big deal. Imagine giving your worst enemy.
they don't really police it very much. I find this interesting because the other side of the political spectrum dislikes their industry understands that Google's policy regarding advertising here is completely hypocritical, makes no sense, and is a lazy cop-out to avoid actually solving the problem. All of us can tell the difference between those bullshit, pretending to be Microsoft, pretending to be the IRS scammer ads, and a small business that provides good service that is actually trying to advertise on the platform. And in spite of that, we're not able to get access to this platform and able to advertise. This is where it presents a problem. So if businesses are asked to divest from other platforms, when we are dealing with a duopoly, there's really pretty much two platforms to do this advertising on, Facebook and Google, then we need an alternative. And the problem here is that the alternative is not allowing us to place those ads, which again, to me, is surprising, given the fact that Google, at the very least from what I was reading on, they seem to be a company that is very social justice oriented.